Hello, world, from wherever you are. We are back with another episode, straight to the point, with your host, Tanaka. And today we have a very special guest. As you know, we always bring you the experts on the show. Her name, please give it up for Anna Oliveira. All right, so today's special guest is an expert on disclosure with children and family. So to open up the show, I'll ask her a first question, which I just basically want to hear her reaction after being diagnosed with HIV. What was your immediate reaction?
I was devastating. Not just about the fact that now I've been diagnosed with a chronic health condition and I will need to take medication the rest of my life, but my children. That was my first thought. My children. To me, it felt like a death sentence, to be honest. It was just, what's going to happen to them now? And I had my little one with me. He was at the time 3 years old. And I just started crying. And he was like, Mommy, why are you crying? I said, Mommy's going to be okay. But the first 10 months, I was in, how can I say? I was like trying to survival mode. I was going to work. I was doing my medication, my treatment. But I was, on the back of my mind, I was like, I'm going to die. So I need to prepare myself, to leave my children in a good position. So at the moment I was living in a coastal state house and I had the chance to buy the house. So in 10 months, I saved as much as I could. I told my kids, don't ask me money just ask me for the basics because I need to save money to buy this house. After 10 months of being diagnosed, I actually bought my house. And yes, I said, if something's happened to me, my kids will be, left house to live. And I know the family, friends will be able to help, but they didn't know what was wrong with me. They knew there was something happening because I was mentally unwell, but they didn't know the reasons. And then eventually I needed to
when
share
you
with
disclosed to your children, how did they react? How did they take it? When you told them, this is what I've been diagnosed with.
Yes. The first one, the eldest one, that is now 21, I told her one day after we had a bit of an argument, young adults, teenagers. So the day after, I was there because I was depressed at this time. So I was off sick for 3 months. And I told her, look, I've got something to tell you. I've been diagnosed with HIV. That's why I'm acting this way, because I was not mentally well. And we just cried I think we hugged each other for more than an hour. We didn't say nothing at all. We just cried and cried and cried. And then she told me, I'll make sure the other two, we're going to look after the little one that was 3 years old. We make sure, the house is tidy, the cook is done. And she did amazing. She was a mother for all of us. Yeah. And then it came COVID. And I was so afraid to catch COVID because at the time I was still detectable. So I was so afraid to catch COVID, and I needed to tell them, look, you need to have some kind of safety, measures, get home, take your clothes, go have a shower to avoid, and I told them, because I've been diagnosed with HIV. So one of them, a girl, my daughter, she said, oh, I'm so proud, Mom, that I never look any different to a person living with HIV because now you are my mom, and how I would react. And the boy was like, I was crying at the time. I was crying, and my girls were crying, and the boy was like, sorry, excuse me, why everyone is crying? You're not going to die tomorrow, are you? And I was like, I felt so weak. I said, this treatment, I'm sure you're getting treated. I said, yes, this treatment, I'm getting my treatment. So why is everyone is crying? HIV is just, a illness. And I was like, oh my goodness.
That was a very good response and a very encouraging one from him, So apart from your kids, what other supports did you have? What other support did you have apart from your kids?
Oh, I had, so I would say for the first year, then I told another friend, I told my sister as well. And 2 years after, I told my mom. And I was, begging. I was like so scared to tell my mom because being like a 17 years old lady, talking about sexual related
Yeah.
illness or anything that to do with sex, it's a complicated topic, especially to your parents, and
Yeah.
being from an African country as well, descended from an African country, you know the deal. But she was just amazing.
Yeah.
She's got diabetes, and I told her in a way that I thought that would be better for her to understand. Instead of telling her that I've got HIV, the virus itself, I told her, "Oh, do you know this, the condition AIDS? That because we know someone who died with AIDS, unfortunately, very young."
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh yes, I know." I said, "I kind of have the same illness," and she said, "No, you don't. You might have the virus, but not AIDS." I was like, "This is not happening."
Wow.
She's
She was
17.
even well aware about the differences. That is
Exactly.
even better.
Yes, and she was like, "Oh, the only thing I don't know is about treatment. How you go about treatment?" And I said, "Now I just take one pill a day." And she lifted up her shirt and she said, "Look, better than me. Look at my belly, full of stabs, insulin stabs." Oh, and then I was crying, and she's like, "Come on, Anna, you are a strong woman. All of us in the family we help each other so much. Don't worry. I know you're not going to be sick because you live in UK. It's a good for treatment, a good country for
Yeah.
treatment. But if you fall sick, I'll look after you. I'll feed you." She told me, "I will feed you." And that day was the day that I decided to be public on my Instagram page, because at the time I had this page for 1 year
Yeah.
called at Invisible Difference. But then I said, if my mom accepts me with this
Yeah.
condition, it's okay. So yes, I'm gonna be public. So yes, that's
So
how I
how is the
decided.
situation back home in terms of HIV treatment? Do people have easy
Here in
access?
UK,
No, like I mean back
yes,
home
yes.
in
Even
Africa.
in Africa, in Cape Verde, it's doing very well, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
one of the best countries in dealing with HIV, and I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, this year we'll be classed with as one of the countries that's no more vertical transmission from mother to child.
Oh, that's
So
actually
it's reached to
good.
that
It's
point.
good progress.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
So it's
okay.
good. It's good. It's just the only problem. The main problem is the stigma
Yeah, the
of
stigma
society
itself,
reacting
discrimination.
living, yeah, with HIV. And if people still dying back home because of HIV, is because of the stigma, because people stop treatment because they are so afraid to go and collect their medication. Someone might see that they know, and they start to talk. Small village, so everyone knows each other. So that's the main problem. But the treatment itself, medical side of it, it's good. It's very good.
Because my next question for you was going to be, what does acceptance mean to you? Like accepting it,
So
is it
to me,
easy?
yeah, bear in mind that acceptance is different, and I'm glad you said to you, because to me, because it's different for every person. And acceptance to me doesn't mean like you need to be public with your status to accept your
Yes.
status. Because, for example, I've got a heart condition, but I'm not saying to everyone I've got a heart condition. But then
Yeah.
I'm telling everyone that I've got HIV. It's how you feel with that diagnosis. Feel comfortable, still feel that you are the same person, but now you are living with a chronic health condition. But then there's the side of how it happened that, to me, to be honest, still something that I'm accepting day by day. But what can I say about that is it was very painful. And but now I know how to live with that pain, and I'm not letting that pain control my life again. Of course, I've got moments that sometimes I feel a bit sad. Everyone's got moments for all sorts of reasons, but it's finding a way to control those moments where you feel those emotions and feel the emotions and ask for help. But acceptance is feel comfortable with yourself, with your status, and you're still the same person no matter what. You are not what happened to you, but what you choose to be. So just
That is
Try.
very
I know it's
brilliant.
hard.
Say,
It's very difficult. It's not an easy process, but this is a journey,
yeah.
and you're not gonna figure out everything all at once. To me, I put like HIV in different boxes. I think that
Uh-huh.
works good. I'll follow one. Oh, that's very difficult now. No, I'm not ready to deal with that box. I'll jump to the next box. But support, find support is so important that you've got a good support network around your family, friends, there's organizations, your HIV consultant, you have that really good connection with the HIV consultant and all the team that is looking after you. And don't be afraid to speak up. Just speak
Yeah.
up. And the problem when you are diagnosed with HIV and you're thinking about sharing with your family, your friends,
Yes.
work, you make assumptions how their reactions are going to be. No, it's wrong because look, my mom, I thought she was like, but no, she was amazing, and she
She
told
was,
me,
she was
no,
actually
you are my
amazing.
daughter. I'm so proud of you.
Mhm.
Yes, so yes,
So,
that's my
so the
advice
next
as well.
part, I want to hear your sort of take on the story I've projected on the screen. So it's a study which was conducted in Malawi, which they were checking guardians if they disclose their HIV status of their children to them. So a lot of guardians had a problem. They felt unease and they were not ready to have that conversation, with their children. Do you think, what's your take? If your child had the virus, HIV, how would you approach telling your child? Would you hide it until a certain age, or at what age would you disclose?
So if the child has the virus, not me,
Yes, not me.
you
The
mean
other way around now.
the other way around. So basically, first of all, I think I'll give time until I will start to talk about the virus, but in a different way, and maybe pretend try to choose a character that the child likes and is
Okay.
powerful, for example, because it was a story from someone that it told me, and to see how the child reacts, and then as soon as the child starts to grow older, try to teach about illnesses, virus, bacteria, broadly, not just the virus itself. Tell the
Uh-huh.
child that different people, they've got different conditions. They and show them children as well, depending on the age, of course. It depends how the as well the relationship mother to child as well, because
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately this is true. Many parents they don't talk openly about loads of things to their children, but explain the child why he's going to the hospital, why he's taking this medication in a simple way. But then as the child grows older and you start to realize his knowledge about the illnesses, various bacteria, you start to say something today, a bit more tomorrow, not just go and say, this is it, you've got this virus. And one thing is, don't say, oh, this virus is very stigmatized. Don't start, forget
Yeah.
about the stigma. Just start to explain the child so he can understand that he's taking this medication because he's got a health condition. And then
Mm-hmm.
you start to more about the virus, what is HIV to the child.
Yes.
And give time to the child, because remember, the child doesn't know why he's taking the medication. Now he's aware that he's got a health condition. And children at school sometimes can be a bit hard as well on other children. And make sure maybe ask help with the teachers. I don't know, depending on the connection you've got with the teachers, sometimes you can ask support as well.
So do you have to
With the
disclose to the child's teachers? Do you disclose again
no,
the
you don't.
HIV?
That's why if you don't have, of course, if you don't, but what I can say is, at least here in UK, we share with not everyone, of course, but those people who are visible, and the child is
Okay.
involved with the healthcare, with the social workers, or with the teacher, we can always share with the teacher, and maybe you can have that extra support. But this is are things
Okay.
that depend where you are. This is the reality, unfortunately, because of stigma. Sometimes you can have that extra support, but I think being a person with HIV, I know it's not reality to everyone, but I start to
Yeah.
accept my diagnosis better when I start to talk, to be honest. And
Yeah.
yes, that's my own experience.
Okay, so generally, I want this section, what is your message to all the mothers that are living with HIV? We'll start in Cape Verde, so you can even speak in Portuguese, and then you can also give advice to the young mothers living with HIV in the UK.
So, what support should what advice I should give to mothers living with HIV?
What advice are you giving them on disclosure, on them telling their family, as the way you've rightly put it, that once you tell your family, you always get very good support, and it encourages you. As you know, in the first 10 months, you bought a house out of it. So what is your advice to the young mothers in Cape Verde that are with HIV to their children?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my reality is not the reality for other women living with HIV. I know different family, different way of thinking about HIV, I know. But I think to start off, you should kind of start to talk about HIV and see what they think about HIV. Because if you talk about you have taboo conversations, they will always answer back. And you can see through their comments where they are about HIV, how stigmatized they are, or if they are not stigmatized. And then you start to open up. But I know it's difficult. It's very difficult. But I think we should always try. This is a diagnosis that majority of us, we can't deal with this by ourselves. It's very, very difficult. And depression and HIV, the mental health and HIV, they are so close to each other. And it's difficult, but just try to be more open about these difficult conversations, so you can actually see kind of knowing where you can go. But if you don't have this conversation, you'll never find out you're gonna have support or not. Yes, I think that's my
all right.
advice.
So I'm very sorry. The time is actually moving really fast. We have actually, covered the 20 minutes for the interview. I'd like to thank you very much, for coming on the show, sharing, the good word out there and your story. I'm pretty sure to all the viewers, they're going to find this very motivational, and to see the sort of approach you approach the HIV issues and family all together. So thank you very much again. The audience, you can give another round of applause to Anna. The invisible difference, that's what she calls herself. All right, so the last segment, we're going to play a little game. It's called Spin the Wheel. So we'll see what sort of present you're going to win from us. So you can see it on the screen.
Let's see. Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to spin the wheel.
I love. Oh, thank you.
So during the time we're shooting the episode, we faced load shedding, so my video got cut, but Anna managed to finish off the show with a bang. Here she is.
I know it's difficult to accept an HIV diagnosis, but take your time and feel the emotions and ask for support if you're struggling. And do please start to have these conversations with your family, friends, your children, because you might find that they will support you. So just try your best. And I'm here if you need help. And yes, we can do this together. Yes.